activists today protested against the ongoing construction of the Enbridge pipeline at the headwaters of the Mississippi River in northern Minnesota. For organizers, around 2,500 people attended the protests, as around 24 protesters occupied and locked themselves to equipment at one of the pipeline pump stations earlier today. A Department of Homeland Security helicopter attempted to disperse them. The oil pipeline, which runs from Canada to Wisconsin, is meant to replace an aging pipeline that runs a similar route. Pipeline company Enbridge says the new pipeline is needed to improve safety and that the current pipeline is corroding and can operate at only half capacity. Opponents say that the pipeline, which will cross the Mississippi River, violates tribal treaty rights to the land and will exacerbate climate change. I'm joined now by actress, activist, and author Jane Fonda, who spoke at the protest today, and Tara Houska of the Couchiching First Nation. She's a trial attorney and a former advisor on Native American affairs to Bernie Sanders. And I want to start with you, Ms. Houska. I understand there's a lawsuit trying to appeal a decision by tribal groups and environmental groups who want to overturn. Oh, I think we've lost her. I think we might have lost her
right now.
Oh, are you there? Okay.
This is happening right now.
That's perfectly okay. We're going to go ahead and watch what's happening behind you. I know these protests are still ongoing. Tell us what the tribe wants to see happen as we're looking at what's going on behind you.
What the tribes, pardon?
What do the tribes want to see happen regarding this pipeline?
The three Ojibwe nations are suing against this project because it directly violates the Anishinaabe right to harvest wild rice. It passes through treaty territories. It's very, very clear. The law is perfectly clear. This is an illegal pipeline, and it's not in a similar route. It's actually in a completely new route. It's in a untouched area, 800 wetlands, 200 bodies of water. This is a new pipeline. The solution to an old aging line is not to build a brand new one through a new place. The solution is to clean up the old mess and move on from fossil fuels.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jane, let me bring you in here because you're using your platform to highlight this issue. You alerted us, and that's why we have the two of you on. I feel like this is a story about America's constant subordination of our freedom and the freedom of our First Nations to big oil. Big oil just runs this country. We're just enslaved to them. Is that a wrong way to read that?
No, I think it's absolutely correct. Big oil has a stranglehold on our government. And while President Biden has done some wonderful things, and we're so grateful to him that he has rolled back some of the Trump policies when it comes to drilling and more fossil fuel development. But there's still too much that he's doing that needs to be stopped. He has the power to stop this. Let me just give up the big picture for a second. We are confronting a looming catastrophe. Climate scientists are virtually unanimous that we have 9 years to cut our fossil fuel emissions in half in order to keep global warming at 1.5 degrees Celsius, no higher than that if we want to avoid catastrophe. Even the conservative International Energy Association that usually supports new fossil fuel development is saying, no, this is it. We cannot do any more development, no more drilling, fracking, or mining of new fossil fuels. We can't even burn what we've already developed because we're going in the wrong direction. Fossil fuel emissions are rising, and we have to cut them in half. Otherwise, it's a catastrophe. Otherwise, we're compromising the future of our children and grandchildren. This pipeline would bring double the amount of tar sands oil from Canada, as Tara said, across pristine land underwater that is very, very precious and pure, headwaters of the Mississippi. It has to stop. And President Biden has the power to do that because the permit was given as the Trump administration, the lame duck administration was on its way out, and the proper environmental impact work wasn't done. They haven't really studied the impact this would have on climate, the impact it would have on the water, and of course it flies in the face of environmental justice. 3 things that the Biden administration has said that they are in favor of. He wants to be the climate president, so he must call on the Army Corps of Engineers to pull the permit and take a second look at this.
And Tara Houska, I mean, the indigenous people have paid the price over and over and over again for hundreds of years to the United States deciding we want more land to put people on, we want more land to build pipelines on, we want more land for whatever we want it for. And now, can you just speak from your point of view of the affront of taking this pristine land and attempting to run yet another oil pipeline through it, given what we've just heard regarding the risks of climate change?
Land defenders all over the globe, led by indigenous people. We are 5% of the population globally, Native people. We're holding 85% of its biodiversity. They are coming for the last sacred places on Mother Earth, and we are defending them. We've been defending them. And more allies and folks of other walks of life recognize that this is the one home that we have, the one shared place that we have. This is more than just an affront to climate science. It's an affront to future generations that have a right to live. It's an affront to tribal nations who have been here since before the United States. It's an affront to all of us who are no longer going to be treated as sacrifice zones. This is theft of land, theft of labor. That's what this country is founded upon, and it's time for a different time, or it's time for a new era of justice and equity.
Can you show us what's happening behind you and tell us a little bit about this protest that we're hearing that's behind you?
Yeah, sure. So what you're seeing is you're seeing massive Enbridge Line 3 pump station. This is the amount of infrastructure actually needed to electrify Line 3. It is tar sand sludge they're sending from Alberta all the way down through the Mississippi headwaters. This is their plan to the shore of Lake Superior. That's what you're looking at. Young people scaled the fences of this pump station this morning and locked every last bit of equipment they possibly could. There's a blockade actually up the road from where I'm standing right now. There are hundreds of people here who have been here holding space. Something has to change, and we have to be willing to make the sacrifices to do it. Indeed.
Jane Fonda, what can we do? How can we help?
You can call or write President Biden. You can go to firedrillfridays.com/take action, and you will find out exactly what to say and what to do to pressure President Biden to call upon an ending of this pipeline.
We will do that. We will make sure we put that on all of our social media. I'll put it on my social media as well. Jane Fonda, thank you so much. Tara Houska, thank you. Bless you. We're all rooting for you.